Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Salem by Night Chronicle. I'm the Ravenous Archon. My name is Will, and I'll be your storyteller this evening. And last, we left off with our Camarilla coterie. We picked up with Ivory trying to chase down Kathy, but there was just something about a young fledgling vampire who doesn't want to be found, having the right abilities to hide from a Toreador. But while that was going on, Carl decided to test the blood. He did manage to verify that Kathy and Tulip are both Nosferatu, so that's one less thing to worry about as they're concerned. On the way out of the area, Carl explained to Ivory about how he is part of House Karna and how the Tremere are divided and not the same that they used to be before the Beckoning. They learned that the prince put Antoine Malcolm Davies in charge of what was the Last Call bar, and how that Toreador is now in charge of the information coming in and out of the city. Ivory has called the number that she was given to reach out to the Free Souls, and in one in particular is Andreas Barker. Set up a meeting to try and get in contact with her as soon as he gets the information. And then they booked over to the Albatross to go chat with Marcus Bradley. Unfortunately, they got there a little too late and did not get to hear the band called Not Edgar Allan Poe's Wife because they were breaking down for the evening. But from Marcus's reaction, they dodged a bullet, it seems. He warned them that Melvin was not in a position to be found right now since he's been on the warpath as of late. But it was revealed that all the remaining Primogen have made it rather difficult to meet with them because of the whole disappearances and killing off of the council members. They also learned that the Quajan have started to step back to assess the situation because of what happened in Portland and in other parts of the West Coast. So they're relinquishing control on the Orpheus. They also learned that the casino hall in Portland was attacked and set on fire. Who knows who could have been responsible for that. But they also learned that Hyde is liquidating his properties to try and make himself less vulnerable. They revealed to him that Sasha Vikos was running around the city and how there were other Semitsi infiltrating the city as well. They learned from him that there was already a Semitsi that was known to the city called Linda Jacobi, but that his interactions with her have been rather minimal since he finds her unsettling. And that the last time that the Grant Reynolds was in his area, it was inside his club, and he was meeting with Melvin and his coterie since they happened to be friendly with each other. But then they headed over to the Blooming Rose Gallery, where they saw a trio of people talking, two gentlemen and a young lady. Miss Larson recognized, both of the gentlemen, as one was Wesley Ian Garter, the Toreador Primogen, and the other one had to be Antoine Malcolm Davies. He came over to them, introduced himself just in case, and had his ghoul close up for the evening. He took him across the street to what used to be a restaurant, and in the loft upstairs, he showed them that he was living a kind of meager existence as far as Toreador are concerned. Rich clans and all that business. But they did learn that he came over after the Anarch Revolt in Los Angeles kicked off, that Geraldine had been groomed to be part of the next Primogen Council after the Toreador Primogen had stepped down with the previous Ventru Prince. And they also learned that Garter is half owner of the gallery, so he does get preferential treatment when it comes to talking to his Primogen. And he said that if they wanted to know anything else about Geraldine, they should seek out Otis King, since his was the first coterie that was given domain by her in West Salem after she became prince. And before they left, they learned that Davies was looking to continue on his current path for the Last Call, which is to turn into an all-ages establishment. Miss Larson let him know that her establishment has a second floor that can be rented out, so just in case there needs to be any favors shared, there is that. And then once Carl revealed that he was a Tremere, Mr. Davies asked him to look at something, and he was shown a page that turned out to be a fragment of a torn piece of paper that could have been and might likely be part of the Ereses fragments that was written by a gangrel named Beckett so long ago. But they also learned that Primogen Thompson was coming in to check the page for himself. And we left off with Carl taking off for the rest of the evening to prepare himself by making acid bombs for whatever reason. But Tremere has to make acid bombs. While Ivory returned to the club in case Kathy came back, which she did right before sunset. The sunrise claims them for their death sleep. But there was also a little bit of a scene where Kathy's brother chose one artistic item in the club to kind of melt into, which for those of you that have played Wraith, you understand how fetters are created. But we're going to pick up, not with the group as a whole, because we get to see all of you today. Hello. We're going to see a little bit of a baby's day out, as we start with Kathy, as you have rushed off after kind of leaving this ultimatum about how Teddy cannot be a Simitsi. And you run away with Ivory hot on your heels, and the voice of your brother in your ear is saying, I'll stop her. And you can just feel that coldness start to come over the entirety of this side kind of alley that you were running down. And after a few minutes, you don't hear her chasing you anymore. You've got a good kind of distance built up between you. And as you come back and double back around, by the time you come back to where the car was, you can see that it's already gone down the street and is driving off. So you have avoided your compatriots for the night. It is just after midnight, about closer to 1 than anything else. So you have roughly 4 hours to just go cuckoo bananas if you really want to.
So the thing is that as Kathy, she's feeling betrayed and angry more so than anything else, and she's a very outward creature. So she begins to start walking down the street. At first, she's looking for prey, and her mind's reeling because this is the people that she's come to, in an essence, call like her family. In a sense, after everything that's happened, these are the only people that she's really interacted with. And to be told that she might be a Samitsi and that her blood needs to be tested, and they need to find out the truth about her after she is sworn up and down. She's basically prowling the night for somebody to take her anger out on. And if she can't find that, she's also trying to look for her sire in any capacity possible. So those are the two directions that she's going in. And whichever one basically comes at her first is where she's gonna take the most of her anger out on.
Okay. You start your hunt, trying to clear your mind. What is Kathy's predator type? What do we agree on?
So she likes young, good-looking men with a misogynistic attitude. So what she's doing is she's looking for the bad boys who are looking for an easy target kind of thing.
Okay.
Men who feel superior just because they can be, because back then, men could be.
Yeah.
So, and she doesn't take kindly to bullies in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what she's looking for in the form of a hunt. She's looking, especially around midnight. It's probably very easy to find somebody where they're not supposed to be doing something that no one thinks is watching.
Yeah, and since you're near enough to the university, immediately you start heading in that direction. And towards the library, you can see that lights are coming off floor by floor. They're just kind of turning off the unnecessary areas as the library is being closed down for the evening. And you do see this younger girl kind of walking out, and two gentlemen in what look to be the Letterman jackets kind of start whistling, catcalling, following, not close, but they are following her as she leaves the library grounds. And as you come across them, how would you like to approach the situation?
She takes her hunger is usually settled by fear. So what she would do is she would pull on the shadows
Okay.
and she would just start walking behind them. And that presence of somebody's like there, she makes it more so because she gets as close as she can. She breathes on their neck. She enjoys their fear because she's lived in it for so long. To be able to do it to these type of people that have done it to her for so long, she revels in that power.
Yep. So you see the one guy thinks that it's the other guy fucking with him, and he immediately stops and pushes him. He's like, "Hey man, stop that shit." No. And the other guy's like, "I'm not doing shit. I don't know what you're talking about." And the girl kind of stops in her tracks, and she turns around, and there's a moment where she kind of looks at the two of them. She kind of holds the straps of her backpack, and you see the head tilt, and she's not looking at them anymore. She's looking at you. And you see a smile just start to slowly creep across her mouth.
Kathy, she'll touch the tip of her mask, like nose,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then she'll point to this one, and then she'll wait for the response, like the one on the left that's fucking around, and then she'll point to the other one to see her response to kind of get a feel of which one the other girl might want.
All right. She looks at you. She sees the one that you want, and she kind of nods at you. And then she looks at the other one. And she goes, "Okay, come here, sit." And the way she says "sit" to you unsettles you, and not because she says it in like a derogatory way or in a very domineering kind of dominatrix. There's just this reverberation that you can feel in the little hairs on your ear, and without a second thought, the guy just kind of comes over and sits down in front of her like a little dog.
Does it feel the same when Chad tried to do it?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, Carl. So
Doesn't matter.
sorry. Kathy will chuckle, which she knows will bring her out of it, and she'll chuckle close enough to the man or to the guy that is hers, and she'll kind of like rake her fingers down his back and be like, "Hello, handsome."
Oh, he immediately freaks out and starts to book it.
Oh no, he doesn't even get the chance. Like, I grab him as he tries to book it, and I pull him with that unhuman strength close and be like, "Where are you going?"
Okay.
Let's have some fun.
Let's see. Make a strength and brawl roll for me.
Ooh. Okay. 4 dice? No.
Yep. And you could rouse.
I am definitely gonna rouse.
All right. If you wanted to activate prowess.
Mm-hmm. So it's brawl and which one?
And strength. So it'd be 1 dice right now.
Okay.
But roll your rouse check first to see.
All right. Rouse is my pink. Hold on.
Yep.
Rouse is a 5. The other one's a 0.
Okay. So your hunger goes up by 1, but your beast already knows what you're about to do to him anyway. So as he goes to move away from you, your hand clamps down where it was and just holds him in place. You see that he has this fear that is starting to crash over him like waves on a beach. It is unsettling to see just how wide. His eyes have gone. Oh, looks like we lost Carl there.
Yeah, I'm still here. The camera decided to cut out.
Okay. But as soon as you can bring it back on, let us know.
Okay.
The gentleman just starts to freak out. The other one hasn't moved. He's just sitting there. You can smell the fear as he starts to like wonder why he can't move. And the young girl just kind of kneels down in front of him and leans in and just bites down.
Okay, bye.
Yep. Gotcha.
I figured. Kathy doesn't really pay her any mind now. She's into this.
Yep.
So like she puts her hand right under the guy's face and tilts him up, and she removes her mask. And as she gets close enough, she like kind of like nibbles right here at his neck, and then she bites as hard as she can.
Okay. Are you looking to kill, or are you just trying to satisfy your hunger?
Satisfy my anger and hunger. You have to remember she is pretty pissed off, and this is how she gets her kicks off to feel better. Like she's not a humane type of person, even though she plays one. She's a very, very urge type character. Like she lives on her urges. So she's acting out on that because she feels so deeply about what has happened.
Gotcha.
So if she kills him, I don't feel bad.
Right.
Not even gonna lie. Like she's not even.
All right. Let's have you roll your composure and resolve.
Composure.
And we'll say that you're down to hunger 1 at this point, since you've already started to feed off of him.
Yep.
So it'll be 5 regular and 1 hunger.
That's what I got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's 5 regular, so it's 5 reds. And then 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 100. Okay. So not the best of rolls. I got a 2, a 5, an 8, a 4, a 0, and then my pink die is a 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There comes a time where, as you're feeding, that humanity that still sits inside of you, just kind of starts to make itself known to you. You start to feel the kind of memories, the life flashing before his eyes starts to kind of seep into your mouth with every gulp that you're taking from him. And you're starting to see this potential snuffing out of what could be someone important. Or it could be another piece of shit. You don't know, but the coin is still in the air. And you feel that cold hand on your shoulder. And your brother's voice is what manages to pull you away as he says, You're better than this.
She pulls away and she looks at him and she's like, "You're the only one that seems to agree with that." And she takes a look at the guy. I'm assuming he's limp or passed out. And she like throws him to the ground. And she begins to walk over to the girl. And if she's still feeding, she taps her on the shoulder.
Yeah. And you snap her out of it too. Like she was, it feels almost like she was also in the same kind of throes that you were in. And she just kind of looks up at you and she immediately licks the wound close on her guy. She rushes over to the one that you were feeding on and she licks his wound close. And she just kind of looks up at you. Sorry, I guess I was a little more hungry than I remember.
Kathy cocks her head to the side and she like adjusts her mask, and she puts her finger underneath to like wipe out the blood. She goes, "Who are you?"
Oh, my name is Annabelle. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I didn't know. And she looks around. That you were in these parts. Where are you from?
Oh, I'm new to the city. I have she kind of looks around, and then she looks back at you. Sorry. What were we talking about?
What are you listening to in there? And she taps her head. Who's talking?
Oh, no, it's not nobody talking to me. I'm not crazy or anything. She just grabs her little straps and starts walking away.
Hey. Question. Can I do an
Yep.
insight to see if like she was trying to lie?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Alright. So I need an insight. Let's go.
Yeah, that's gonna be wits and insight. Should be 3 regular dice and 1 hunger dice for you.
Let's say. My wits is 3. And then my insight.
Is 1.
So it's 4 die, right? No.
Yep.
Okay, so it's 4. Alright.
Yeah.
7, 6, 2, 1, and then my hunger die was a 1.
Okay.
Okay.
Luckily you did have a success. So there will be no compulsion today. So there is definitely something that she has kept from you. As far as lying is concerned, you're not entirely sure. But you know that you haven't seen her before. You know that you don't recognize the name Annabelle from anybody that you have heard Tulip talk about. But
okay. So I kind of like proceed to try and follow her. Be like, wait. I'm new too. Like, wait.
oh, okay, yeah. And she just kind of will slow her gait down till you catch up to her.
And like Kathy kind of like hooks her around as friendly as she can.
Yeah.
She's like, let me at least walk you back to wherever you're going. So that way you're not walking alone.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And like she just like kind of hooks on. And she goes, so where are we going, Annabelle?
Oh, I was gonna meet with Leslie. I was told that I was kind of handed over to her, rather. She's the one that's responsible for me in the city. Do you know her?
Are you talking about your sire?
No. She's not my sire. My sire is in California. He got tired of me. I don't blame him. You know, I'm a lot to deal with.
You're a lot to deal with. And like Kathy looks at her. You were nothing but helpful tonight.
Oh no.
She keeps walking with her and tries staying in step.
No, I'm just, you know, and she kind of stops and she smells and she turns you around, and she immediately starts to like dig into your backpack. She's like, do you have a cat?
And like Kathy pulls the book back around and she's like, yeah. Like she's trying to like, you know, pull the cat back. She's like, yeah. That is some damn good senses. His name's Mr. Fluffy. Fluffy is his name. But we're not touching Fluffy. Don't touch the Fluffy.
Okay.
He's going to a friend of mine. And I want to make sure that he stays in good condition for my friend of mine. And he's not really too happy. He stays in there a lot.
Okay, and you just hear this very antagonized meow. But no, and she pulls her backpack around, and you see her pull out a notebook. There are 3 notebooks in her backpack. But she pulls.
She like goes in and she takes out one. What's this nonsense? And like she starts to like, you know, shuffle through the book bag.
Yeah, there's just 3 spiraled notebooks. The one you take has just in Sharpie written in big letters, like not even like somebody took the time to write it, like somebody just fucking repeatedly ate through 3 or 4 Sharpies to write safe spaces on the cover of this notebook. And normally with Sharpies, it doesn't really bleed through a notebook cover.
Darn it.
This is bled through. Like the first few pages are just say safe space. Safe spaces. The one that she has, has Tower Folk on it. And she flips through it and she goes, okay, and you said your name was Kathy?
My name's Kathy.
Okay. And she writes down Kathy and she writes down Cat Fluffy. No touching.
No touching. No touching. And then, like, Kathy opens up and be like, what's your safe space?
There's a bunch of addresses. One address per page, and there's about a dozen addresses.
Does
and then
Kathy notice any of them, like, sound familiar?
One of them is the address to the Malkavian Primogen's estate.
Oh, Kathy, what did you do? Okay. So, she's like, oh, and she points to it. I've been here. This place is really awesome.
Yeah,
right?
no, that house is super big, but that guy's super weird.
I know, right? And I'm not gonna lie, a little bit of a Nazi.
Oh yeah, no, he's a big Nazi.
Oh yeah. When did you go here? I thought
Like,
you were in town.
Yeah. That was one of the first places I was taken to. That's where I was kind of handed off.
What? Handed off? What are you talking? Like, she's like, what are you talking about? Handed off, taken to? Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where my sire kind of got rid of me, and handed me over to Leslie.
Leslie.
Yeah, Leslie Thatcher. You don't know her?
Do I know her well?
I don't think you know Leslie Thatcher.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Oh, she sounds nice. What clan does she belong to?
She's Malkavian, like me.
That explains the voices, don't it, sweetheart?
Oh, I don't have voices.
Or friends. You have friends.
No, I don't have friends.
Then who were you talking to earlier?
Oh, nobody. I don't talk to. I'm not crazy.
I don't think you're crazy. I think you have friends. I have friends too. And then she points to the cat. I talk to him all the time.
Yeah. That's like this one, and she flips through the pages until you see her come to a page that has this pen drawing of this elongated monstrosity of a potato with arms and legs, and it just says Teddy at the top, and it has like a little list of things that she's noted about him, and then it has
I was like, where did you find this? Who? Where did you go? Where was this? When was this?
Oh, this was
point to it.
This is one of the first people that Leslie introduced me to. He's a nice guy. He has cats too.
I know. That's who I'm trying to get the cat to.
Oh,
Leslie speak to him?
Maybe. I haven't seen him around.
Does Leslie might know where he is?
I mean, she could. She's one of the harpies.
What's a harpy?
That's a good question to ask her.
I'm like, no, that's me in character.
Okay.
Harpy.
Okay. She goes, oh, you are new. So
Freshly made and fresh off the roaster.
Nice. Harpies are kind of information disseminators, as far as I know. They're like rumor mongers, but they serve a purpose. They're the kind of people that make sure information gets to where it needs to go.
Oh, I would love to meet her. I've been looking for a Teddy for a very long time, and you would make me very happy. Could I ask you for another favor?
I mean, you haven't asked me for a single favor yet.
And she points back to the guys. Okay.
Oh no, I was hunting, so that just comes with the territory.
I mean, I like you. So yeah, I would love to meet Leslie if you're down for it.
Okay, sure. And she takes you to meet Leslie Thatcher. The apartment that you walk into is incredibly clean. Everything has a little chalk mark as to where it goes. Like, this is beyond OCD as far as things are concerned.
Kathy will take her book bag and just cover the cat a little bit more.
And before she opens the door, she says, "Hey, just so you're aware, don't shake hands with Leslie unless you want to be here for like a good couple minutes. 'Cause there's a whole ritual to it with her, and just be aware that she's a lot to deal with."
Well, you said you were a lot to deal with, and you're not. So I have
Yeah,
faith.
yeah. I mean, I know I'm a lot to deal with though, because I haven't met anyone like me as far as our clan is concerned.
Oh, she like locks like. Don't worry, sweetheart. I'm gonna introduce you to my friends, and I promise you, you're gonna fit right in.
Okay. And she opens the door. She goes, "Leslie, I brought somebody." And as you walk in, you see there is this strange, what could only be described as a cauliflower-headed man who very clearly has like one eye that is wide and almost unnervingly unblinking. The other one looks to have been sucked into his skull, and kind of everything has warped itself around it. Thin guy, kind of wearing not a full business suit, but definitely like the remnants of a business suit. Like he has the shirt, the sleeves are rolled up, the vest is open, there's no tie. He has slacks on, a belt. One of the things that you do recognize, that you do kind of immediately see, is that he has like this huge kind of World Series style kind of pinky ring on his left hand. And otherwise, there's nothing else to tell you that this guy is made of money. But he looks up at you, at the two of you as you enter. He stands up and immediately kind of gives a curtly nod, holds up his hand. Hiya. And you see this young lady kind of peek out from the kitchen. There is blood on her mouth, and she has this wavy black hair that kind of comes just past her shoulder blades. Otherwise, she's just this kind of wafer of a thin girl, sharp green eyes that stick out, and this very thin 1950s housewife kind of silhouette to her. There's no poodle skirt, but there is a kind of wide skirt that kind of flares out at the bottom. And she wipes her mouth. Hi, Annabelle. Who's this?
Hey, Kathy. Annabelle says you might have met some of my friends, and I'm hoping that you could help me get back to them.
Okay, sure.
Beautiful eyes, by the way.
Thank you. And you see her start to spin in place. First clockwise, and you hear her kind of mumbling something to herself, and then she turns counterclockwise, and you hear her still mumbling to herself, and she does this about 4 or 5 times. And while she's doing this, the gentleman kind of steps over. He's like, hey, my name's Robert. Who are you exactly?
Hey, I'm just a friend of Annabelle's.
You a friend of Annabelle's? How long you been a friend of Annabelle's?
Looks at Annabelle. 2 hours?
And Annabelle looks at him and is like, less than that, but yeah. She has a cat.
I have a cat.
And he goes, hey, listen, I don't give a good goddamn who has a cat, okay? I don't like new people coming around.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to look for my friends, and she said you might know where they might be, and I'm gonna get out of your hair if I can just find out maybe what you might know.
Who you looking for?
Kathy tried to like indicate Cinema. Can I see your book? And then she flips to the page that says Teddy with the big potato. And she's like, him.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah, that guy.
You don't want to go looking for that guy. That guy's a troublemaker.
Yeah, I actually do, because the cat, it's his cat, and I would like to give it back to him.
Oh, you took one of his cats?
It was an accident. Newly recruited cat.
Okay. Well, that we can give to the prince then.
The prince?
Yeah. That cat's a spy.
Why is that a cat? A spy?
Because it's a ghoul to a spy. Who knows what the cat knows?
Newly recruited. I mean, I recruited the cat, and I'm trying to give it to him.
Oh, so that's not his cat.
I mean, it is his cat, because it's a present for him.
He pulls out a gun. I don't like liars.
Not a liar. Like, she's like, not a liar, and she pulls it up. See? Cat. Swear to God, that's all I'm trying to do. It's just
Right, but you said it was his cat. That you took his cat.
No, what I said was, it's his cat. It is a gift for him. I got this cat for him, and I want to make sure it gets to him. I will happily roll that manipulation there.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. Let's do a manipulation and subterfuge roll. Such a good roll for you.
I know, that's why I'm okay with it.
It is not. That's why I was being sarcastic.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. You have 2 dice total. So 1 regular dice, 1 hunger dice.
Okay.
See what happens to Kathy.
Okay. So 2 dice, 1 hunger dice. Can I use my willpower? Or do I have to wait until after I roll?
You can use it after you roll.
Okay.
Just be aware that your willpower lets you reroll up to 3 dice that are not hunger dice.
Got it.
It would not behoove you to use it unless you roll really terrible.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm making sure of.
Mhm.
Ha! I didn't. I have a 9 and a 0. Come at me.
Okay. He looks you over for a moment. Starts to put the gun back in his underarm holster. You said your name was what now?
Me.
Kathy.
Well, technically Kathleen.
Kathleen. You wear a mask. Why?
Because I'm not I'm beautiful. Well, to me I'm beautiful underneath this mask, and I don't
You
like
see this face?
I think you're beautiful too. Like, straight up, she totally believes she's beautiful, so that's not at all.
Yeah,
like, she
yeah,
believes
yeah.
she's beautiful. So she's like, I think you're beautiful too, and kind of sexy there.
Oh, you definitely Markavian. That's what you thinking.
Maybe I am, but
And
definitely
Leslie comes over and slaps the back of his head at that.
But I was hoping you could point me in the direction, at least, of what you might know of my friend. Is that possible?
Well, last I heard, okay, he was in the Malkavian Primogen's estate, and that some bad things had befallen him. But also, I had heard through the grapevine that somebody got him out.
That's the person I'm trying to look for. Do you know who got him out?
No, that I don't know. I know that my clan has been talking about it nonstop. I've tried to keep myself out of the whole situation. I don't want anything to do with it. But all of them have fucked off to West Salem. So
Who fucked off to West Salem? Teddy?
Nosferatu. The rest of the Nosferatu, at least. Fuck them.
What do you mean the rest of them?
You haven't heard?
No, I haven't.
All the Nosferatu fucked off. They decided to join Otis.
Otis?
Yep. They're back in Otis for Prince of the City.
All of them, you said?
Yeah, except me.
Huh. Uh-huh. And who are you? Exactly? Like, how did they not tell you?
Oh, they told me. I just told them that I don't care.
And do you know where Tulip is?
Well, somewhere in West Salem, I'd imagine.
Somewhere in West Salem. Okay, what about Willow?
Oh, you haven't heard?
No, I haven't heard.
Yeah, Willow got.
I got how?
I know, she just got.
By who?
By the Nosferatu.
Ah, so she's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Most likely she did.
most likely she did. Cool. Would you happen to know? And then she like kind of like tries to like jiggle her memory. Well, I can't remember the name, and I don't want to butcher it. The person that's Teddy's sire.
Oh, you never learned Teddy Sire's name.
No, because I figured it out, and they told me I couldn't go there.
No, you figured out his grandsire, the sire.
The one who came into town, right?
Yeah, Sasha Vikos.
There we go. Have you ever heard of the name Sasha and where she might be?
I mean, Sasha's not exactly a rare name. You gotta help me out here. What else you got to go on?
Vascos? She says it wrong.
Oh, no, you don't want to go there.
You keep telling me that.
That's bad. This is the first time I tell you this. Who are you?
No, you told me that with Teddy. You say you don't want to go there. He's trouble.
This is the first time I ever seen you. Who are you? You see him reach for his gun again.
Okay, well, we're going to go through this again. I'm not going through this again. So,
Listen,
like, she proceeds.
It's bad enough. I got 2 Malkavians here. I can't handle the third. Leslie, when you're done with this bullshit, you've come find me. And he grabs a fedora off of the hat rack, and he starts to walk out, mumbling the whole time about Malkavians.
Like, as he walks out, I pretend to talk to somebody, and I'm like, yeah, I know. Shh, don't let him see you. Bye!
Yeah.
Like, you know, pretending to be that Malkavian bullshit.
And your brother just kind of looks at you like, he can't see me.
I know he can't see you, but she... And then she turns to Leslie.
Yeah.
Do you have any information I can use?
I mean, everything you heard from Robert is pretty much where we're at right now. Teddy was taken, and then he was released. The Malkavian Primogen was burnt down, and now we're trying to figure out who Grant Reynolds might be going after next. So
Grant Reynolds, what does he have to do with any of this?
he killed the Bruja Primogen. Did you not know about that?
No, apparently I've been under a rock.
Oh, yeah. With Julian going and joining Otis, that means that Hyde only has lost 3 Primogen in the last week. Like, he's probably at the weakest he's ever been.
Who's Julian? Which one's Julian?
Julian Poole, he's a Nosferatu Primogen. You would have met him, I assume.
No, I'm Malkavian, apparently.
No. Welcome to the family.
Okay, so that's great. Thank you for your help. I appreciate it. I'm
Yeah.
going to continue my search for Teddy. Can I roll insight to see if she's hiding anything?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. But goddammit, I'm determined at least to try and find
Yeah. I mean, it's 4 dice, so 3 regular, 1 hunger.
Pinky. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Probably gonna use this roll. Okay. No. 2, 5, 4, 2. Nope.
Okay.
Never mind. Okay, bye. Have a nice great.
Yep. But yeah, she looks at you like, I wish I could be more helpful for you, but Hyde told us not to bother with Teddy anymore, so we've kind of turned our attention to making sure that Sasha or Grant don't actually do anything. The other Primogen have kind of made it very difficult to meet up with each other.
I mean,
So-
that's fair. There's a big to-do amongst the Primogen. I keep hearing bad things.
Yeah.
And they're not very good things. Do you know where Sasha is by any chance?
Or who?
Sasha is by any chance?
Oh no. She's a monster. Like, nobody wants to find out where she is.
My hope is that if I find out where she is, I might find my friend. So.
No, I mean that's a good point.
So wait, what? Okay, yeah. So that's the. I guess I'll be going. Hey, Annabelle, you want to help me find my friend?
And she's like, yeah. We still got a few hours before sunrise.
All right. Oh, and she turns around. You wouldn't happen to know anything about where Tulip might have fucked off to, would you?
Leslie looks at you. She's like, she went with the Nosferatu. Like all the Nosferatu are now in West Salem. So
With Otis King, right?
you might have to ask Otis about that.
Looks like I'm paying a trip to fucking Otis. Cool. And then she like kind of like walks out the door. It was really nice meeting you, and I'm digging the dreads. By the way, amazing. You are. It is hot.
Thanks. And Annabelle quickly just pushes you out the door and closes it behind you. Yeah. So where are we going?
I'm going to find fucking Otis King to find my Nosferatu clan. Let's go. And I'm bringing Annabelle with me because I need somebody to cause trouble with.
Okay. I mean, I never met Otis, so I don't know how to get to wherever we're going.
I might have an idea. I went to Otis, didn't I?
Yeah.
Alright. I remember where this fucker is.
You could try to remember.
I'm going to try to remember.
All right. Give me an intelligence and streetwise roll. That's not a bad roll for you.
Don't lie to me. Hold on.
No. That's actually sincere. You got 6 dice total. So 5 regular, 1 hunger.
Oh, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, I got a 6. My hunger dice is a 7. I got a 5. I got a 2. And then I got a 9.
Okay.
So kind of okay.
It's not wrong.
I went there once.
You do take some wrong turns. But you eventually get to the Red Eye Lounge. And when you walk in, you see that it is kind of a quiet night. There's a couple of regulars. The jukebox is playing its country music. But you see Manny come over to you and goes, "Oh my God, look at this right here. What a sight for sore eyes."
She walks right up to Manny and kisses him on his cheek. I missed you, baby cakes. You got any food for me?
He looks at you, he's like, "Hey man, you down to clown? You know about the whole situation with Otis?"
I do not know what's going on with Otis, but I'm looking for Tulip, and I heard you might know where she is.
Oh, I mean, she's not here right now, but she was here earlier.
I've been trying to find her for like a good couple hours, Sugar Bean. Do you have any idea where she might be? Because I'm here to check in.
No, nobody knows where she lives right now. Otis is still trying to find everybody a kind of place to live.
Got it.
You know, we've been talking about like domains and things like that.
Domains?
Yeah, man. Otis is serious. He wants to help everybody who wants to help him.
No, I got that. I got that. But domains? Like this king? Prince? And where the fuck is Teddy?
Teddy's gone, man.
What do you mean he's gone?
Teddy's gone. Like, he might be on his way to Seattle. He might be on his way to Los Angeles. Who knows where the fuck he's gone? But he's gone.
Alright. Can I see Otis? Is he here at all?
Yeah, let me see if he wants to meet with anybody.
Alright. Thank you.
He goes into the office.
And by the way, this is my friend Annabelle. Isn't she sweet?
And he rubs his hand on his shirt and he extends it. "Hi, Annabelle. It's good to meet you. Manny Garza. And call me Smiley." And as he smiles, you see the flesh that is missing from his cheeks just kind of like rise up into this very much Joker's grin.
And like, Kathy West tells him, "Hey, sexy."
And she looks at you. She's like, "Okay, so now I know why you wear the mask and why some of your clan should wear masks."
He's harmless. He's harmless. He makes good snacks, though.
But he goes into the office and he comes back less than a minute later with John Coulson. And Coulson comes over, motions for you guys to come over to a table. "Miss Carver, how can I be of service to you?"
My can fucked off too. You kind of left me behind.
We were under the impression that you weren't part of the whole Exodus
I was under the impression that there was no exodus up until about like 2 nights ago, and I got left behind. So, do we feel like catching me up, or just
That's a choice for you to make. Do you want to be part of what's happening here in West Salem?
is Willow a part of what's happening here in West Salem?
Willow is
Because
dead, from what I understand.
good. I'm glad the bitch got what she wanted. I'm glad. She was up to no fucking good anyway.
I'm not here to judge anyone.
Okay. So if Willow's dead, that's good. Yeah, sure. I'll happily be on your team. What's going on?
All right. Well, just to catch you up then, the Nosferatu have decided to join with Otis King, so they have put themselves as enemies of the tower. So you are now an enemy of the prince.
Why does that not surprise me? I kind of figured that. Where
Me-
is Tulip?
Like I
have been
said,
looking for Tulip.
we don't know where they are currently. They're still trying to finalize their homes here in West Salem. Otis is trying to accommodate as many of them as possible, find domains for them, and all that.
Okay.
Is your coterie going to be fine with losing you?
I don't care about my coterie. They're up and fucking trying to betray me anyway. They don't give a shit. I got somebody who's trying to take my blood and find out if I'm an ace meaty, and like she says it wrong completely.
Yeah,
And then I got another person who just wants to fucking agree with that. And I'm just trying to find answers. Which is why I need to
Understood.
talk to Tulip.
I wish I could help you. I can pass the message along. So, best I can do.
That's fine. Cool. So Teddy's gone. Tulip's gone. And then she takes the cat and she puts it down.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Guess not. Guess not. Pass the message along, I guess.
Okay. Very well. Then I will take my leave of you. I have business to associate myself with.
Okay. When do I know how's contact gonna happen? If she does decide to get with me.
I can go find Mr. Keller, I believe his name is. And I can make it so that he can pass it along to you.
He doesn't really know I'm here. And I don't trust that fucker, so let's not give him any information, please.
It's going to make things difficult then.
Yeah. Well, I'm not really comfortable with people trying to test my blood without my permission. And
Well,
demanding things from me that I'm just not willing to give. We call that rape in some cultures. And he was raping my blood.
that's a bit of a stretch, Miss Carver.
When somebody says no, it means no.
I understand. Under normal circumstances, I would side with you, but we are currently trying to fight off a Semitsi invasion from the looks of things, so I commend him for trying to make sure that you are what you say you are.
But I'm and she points up, but I'm Tulip's. So if that means I am, that means Tulip is. So
Right.
you're questioning not only me, but Tulip as well.
Oh, no, I'm not questioning Tulip. I've tested her.
Okay, so then obviously I'm not. I'm not, like, she puts my hands. That's not how that works.
Assuming that Tulip is the one that embraced you, yes. You would also
Tulip
be cleared.
is the one that embraced me. She said she was literally there. Like, so
Right.
was I.
But the only person that that I have to go on is your word.
Oh, this is gonna be a lovely friendship.
So, would you like me to test you now, or would you also like me to tell me to fuck off?
She gets up. I think no, and she tries to like walk away.
All right.
I'm good with believing that Tulip embraced me, and Tulip is Nosferatu, which means I am Nosferatu. Which
I mean, I understand that Tulip is a Nosferatu because I've tested her. I don't know from Adam, so.
You not know me from Adam, but Tulip does. So if you trust Tulip, you'll trust me.
That's not how this works.
See, that's usually how trust works. And I'm beginning to have a really big problem with trust in you guys because it doesn't work. And like she tries to, and she's like, walk on. She's like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Tulip will get a hold of me. Tulip will vouch for me. I trust Tulip. You trust Tulip. Tulip will be the one to say, this is my person. So I'm going to trust in that, because if I can't trust you and you can't trust me, then we're going to trust in the process.
I hope you are correct about that.
How would I not be correct about that? Tell me in some scenario that Tulip didn't embrace me when she's the one that bit me and I woke up to her biting me. Pick something that could have happened in between. Go ahead.
We are in a situation where no one is trusted until tests are made. So
Son of a fucking bitch. So you're saying that you will not trust me until you test me?
At all. I would sooner destroy you than chance trusting you.
She pulls up her wrist. She cuts her blood. Go, fucker. Go ahead. Take it. And if I'm right, then I'm gonna fucking kick your ass.
I mean, you can try. And he does.
My best.
He does kind of take a little pinky tip of blood and takes it into his office.
As he turns around, she goes,
Manny follows, like, stops at the office door, lets him go in, and then he turns around and just looks at you. He's like, man, you got a set of balls on you. Let me tell you what. I'll go find you a wheelbarrow if you want.
I'll wait here and to let us know that I am Nosferatu. And then
Yeah.
she leans back, she opens her legs wider, and she's like, fuck this. Let's go.
And he just kind of leans back against the wall next to the office door. He's just like, hey man, like I personally have known Coulson since we became a coterie, and I don't fuck around with Coulson. Like, you got, whew, it's a sight to see, let me tell you what.
And when he comes out there and he sees that I'm Nosferatu, he's going to know that I'm Nosferatu.
And you see the door open. Manny leans in. He nods, and then the door closes. And he comes over to your table. Mr. Coulson has tested you, and he says that you are a Nosferatu. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Fucking Jeopardy over here can now tell me where my fucking person is. Do we trust me? And like she leans over, do we trust me yet? Or do you want to suck my dick too to make sure it's clean?
He looks at you and he's just like, listen. If you were to have a dick down there, it's your prerogative. I don't question it. But just so you're aware, if you want to go with Coulson, he'll go with you. He told me to tell you, he will go.
They always go. But they never stop when it's time to stop. Is he going to get my message across to Tulip?
Yeah.
All right. And can he have something sent to me and not fucking Carl wannabe? You know, the person who didn't also trust me?
I mean, given that Coulson tested you, I'm pretty sure he's going to tell Keller to trust you, since you are actually a Nosferatu.
Surprise.
So,
Happy birthday.
but just be aware, this is good for you to have been tested and proven to be Nosferatu. That means, you know.
How is that good for me? How is proving yet again I am who I say I am good for me? How?
Listen,
How does that help?
That's above my pay grade, okay? He tells me it's
he
good.
doesn't
It's
wanna
good.
Talk to me.
Yeah, because you came in here and peed all over the place like you were a crazy bull. That's not how you do things in people's domains. Like, you basically came in here, slapped him with your dick, and now are telling him to look at it, and he doesn't like that. So until he corrects it by putting you in your place, which I don't want him to do, which is why I'm the one talking to you instead of him, we're gonna be at this situation. So
then I leave, I guess, right?
that would be the best thing for you right now.
Awesome sauce. And like she gives him a thing. I'll talk to you in a couple of days then. And then
Okay.
she yells it as loud as she can, and she walked right up the door.
Yep. Annabelle stakes around for a moment, and then coming out to you, and she goes, "Okay, so can I drop you off somewhere? You want to go anywhere else? It's kind of like getting close to 4. I don't know if we should push it."
Down. She takes a breath. And she just looks at Annabelle and she goes, "It sucks being a vampire. It really fucking does."
Oh yeah.
All right, Annabelle, you've seen what I'm dealing with. What would you do next? And she looks right at her. I need to find my peoples.
I don't know. I haven't really been paying attention, so I don't really know what's going on.
And she looks at her. What do you mean you haven't been paying attention?
I don't. That's kind of my thing. I'm not, like I said, and I hate to use the term, but I'm not crazy like the rest of my clan is. Like I can't remember things unless I write them down, and even if I write them down, I can't remember anything. This isn't working correctly.
Kathy cocks her head. Why? What happened? Do you know what happened?
No, it's just the way the embrace took hold. Which is why my sire got rid of me. My whole room is plastered in note paper, and I have notebooks for everything that I've done or have wanted to do, and it's just sometimes it just feels like I'm a stranger in my own head. It's nothing that I would want to wish on somebody else.
Huh. Kathy looks at her. How long can you remember for? What's the furthest you can remember?
I remember meeting you. I remember trying to find the right guys that I wanted to feed off of.
Do you remember anything before that?
No.
Like yesterday?
No.
Okay then. You're coming with me. I'm not.
To
I
where?
know a place for you. Well, I know a safe place, and it might take some time to get there, but we'll get there right at dawn, and I'm gonna make sure you're safe.
I mean, I can drop you off, but I'm staying with Leslie.
Yeah, but are you gonna remember how to get back there?
I'll write it down.
Why don't you just spend the night with me?
I'll add it to the safe space.
You add it to the safe space? My safe?
Yeah.
Oh, my thing will add it to the safe space. Will I see you tomorrow night?
We'll see.
And he laughs at her. All right. So, if you can't remember past last night, how do you know your name's Annabelle?
It's one of the few things I remember. I remember my name. I remember my sire. I remember my high school.
That's all in California.
No. It's not a high school. It was a school. It was a church, I think. There's flashes.
The church?
Yeah.
California?
Yeah. It's older. I don't know how long I've been a vampire. I know that it took a long time for my sire to finally get fed up with me.
You remember what do you remember about the church?
One of the walls was a chalkboard. I remember the class was small. It was only like 8 of us. And we had to take turns cleaning the board. And sometimes some of us got stuck with doing it 2 days in a row.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm hungry. Let's well, I'm thirsty anyway. Let's find a drink and let's I'll walk the rest of the way. You don't have to drop me off, Sugar Bean. I would feel horrible imposing on you.
Okay.
So.
And she hugs you.
She hugs her back. And be like, don't here. And she grabs a notebook and she writes her Kathy Carver in the safe spaces, and then she writes the address, and then she circles it as like big as she can.
Yep.
And then right below it, she says, maybe good guy, and then she puts Ivory Larson.
Okay.
And then question mark. Little middle finger just in case.
Every time that you close a notebook, you find something else to draw. So yeah. It's a little bit of a moment before you give it back to her. But then you do manage to make it to the dance nocturne right before sunrise. And we're going to pick up with a full coterie the next day. over the evening, or during the day rather, Carl, you will wake up to a message on your phone.
Okay.
It'll say, good afternoon. This is Joanna Lumley over at the Portland Municipal Library. With regards to the contents of your letter, our associate regrets to inform you that the requested material is no longer in our collection. He has heard that it might be able to be found much closer, though, and should you find yourself needing any assistance that sometimes it is best to drink some coffee before embarking on a red-eye voyage. We hope that this is sufficient aid in the matter at hand. Thank you for your inquiry and your feedback at our services.
Okay. Interesting way of putting that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Let's see. So the news is not there anymore. And didn't we hear they were coming back towards the city anyway?
Yep.
So, all right. Well, yeah, that's what happens when you move at the speed of letter. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Well, whatever. No, like old people. Old timers, rather, I should say.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, cool.
So up to you what you want to do with that information. But in the Dance Nocturne, Ivory and Kathy will wake up to the sound of what sounds like very much a Pat Benatar-ish voice and the sound of a rock band playing. And after they're done, you hear Billy's familiar voice. All right, thank you for that. I'll make sure that your name is at the top of the list, and we will get in contact with you once we're open and ready for business. And you hear the female voice again say, "Yo, thank you so much for the opportunity. We appreciate it." And you can hear them kind of shuffling around. You can hear the breaking down of instruments and things like that. But the door will open, and Billy will kind of look in. Ma'am, you prepared, or would you like some more time?
I'm good. Thank you. Before this, when Kathy went back to her room, there was some cat toys and cat treats on her bed.
Okay.
And from Ivory.
Yeah, she
Okay.
was begrudgingly put him in. Like, this bitch is always so nice to me. I like her so much.
Yeah. He tells you, I've cleared the second story, so you and Miss Carver should have full reign of the situation. Make sure nobody goes up there.
Thank you. And was the band good?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah.
No, he says yes, ma'am. But what you heard is, I don't know, is Ivory hip with the rock and roll scene? Okay. Yeah. It is definitely up there with Heart, with a burgeoning kind of Pat Benatar sound. It's very much a smoky, gritty kind of female-led band.
Nice.
But
yeah, they sounded pretty good.
He's excited about it. Best thing I heard today, tell you that.
Excellent.
Yeah. I had a band come in here that I immediately kicked off the moment they started playing because it was a joke.
Did it have something to do with ravens?
Yeah. Something about Edgar Allan Poe.
No.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, any bad ones that we are not as good ones that we want. If we can send their info over to Marcus, that would be great.
Understood.
A little better than the Raven ones. A little better than that.
Gotcha. But he makes himself scarce, leaves the two of you to discuss anything you want to discuss.
All right. Ivory will go out to the upper main floor. Sit down with some of her information that she's working on and wait for Kathy to come out.
Yep. How long until Kathy comes out?
She pretty much opens the door immediately and kind of like comes in with the cat toy looking like a little sheepish.
Yeah.
She's like, nothing like the cat.
Hmm?
Fluffy like the cat toys. Thank you.
Glad to hear it. Are
Uh,
you all right?
Yeah, I had an interesting night. Just a heads up though. I might have volunteered us to be enemies of the prince. I'm gonna go get some coffee. You want some?
Um. What?
Just
Coffee?
like that, huh?
And
Well,
like she's pulling, like
I
she's pulling
can't
down
drink
a toilet.
coffee, and neither can you.
Oh, I don't know what else to say in these scenarios. Like she's pulling on a string. That might have happened. Also, I don't think we're friends with Otis anymore. My boss.
Wait a minute. So we're
Oh,
not.
and I am Nurse Feratu, so you can let that fucker Carl know that he doesn't need to test me. So
Okay.
he can go suck a bag of cocks there.
You know he was under orders from his primogen.
You know he could have just trusted me, right? Like, and like she does this thing. I'm like, I'm beginning to realize that this is not a concept everyone understands, and maybe it's just because
Trust is hard in this.
So I've heard from Coulson himself. In fact, I don't think I'm allowed back there anymore. So if we need to go there, then I have to go yourself.
Well, okay, okay. What's this about changing princes? And if you were changing princes, then and you can't be with Otis, how does that work?
I don't really know yet. Apparently, Carl will know before me.
Oh,
okay. So she begins to explain everything, like get the actual details, but she leaves Annabelle out.
Okay.
And she begins to explain like the night and everything that's happened. She lets her know, of course, about Teddy and Tulip and the whole Nosferatu fucking off.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the story,
wow.
So
do you tell her about Leslie?
No.
Okay.
Anything that has to do with.
What about Robert?
No. Anything that has to do with
Annabelle,
she
nothing.
leaves out.
Okay.
And the reason why is not a matter of she just doesn't know who Annabelle is.
Mm-hmm.
Like she feels like she doesn't know who she is, and so while she may have put this as a safe space, that's the realistic scenario of Kathy.
Yeah.
And then she goes in and she's like, so all of that happened last night, and
I see.
Yeah. I don't know what to do with that information outside of.
It sounds like we need to. Yeah. Are you okay with talking with Carl? We'll leave that whole other thing behind if you're good with that. He's not going to test you.
And like she's like, did you hear something from Carson? Because that's the only reason why Carl wouldn't test me. He has a very inquisitive mind, and he really doesn't take no for an answer.
We talked about it. It's good. Notice he is not lying about anything.
Nope. Just like Kathy's not lying about Annabelle. She goes,
True story.
Yeah. Nope. Okay. Like she goes, Okay.
Almost like you're getting used to the game of vampire.
It's weird.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. Let's talk to Carl.
All right. So she will give Carl a call and tell him that Kathy did come back and
baby come back.
I
No.
was gonna say the minute that she hears Carl's voice, she's like, "I'm Nosferatu, you fucker!" And then sits down on the couch.
Yeah. So Carl will, once he's woken up, he will get a phone call from John Coulson.
Okay.
Had an interesting conversation with your Nosferatu friend, who is in fact a Nosferatu.
I confirm that as much as well.
Excellent. I think that moving forward, you might be a little more careful with her, as she came in here very demanding and protesting everything that is going on. And she has chosen to side with the Nosferatu in joining Otis. So just be aware that might put a target on your back with Hyde and the rest of the Primogen.
I appreciate that. I will definitely keep a closer watch on her and what is said around her.
Excellent.
Just in case, but I appreciate the heads up and
Of course.
obviously confirming what, just in case I hadn't had a chance to do it, because she was vehemently against the concept.
Yeah. No, I've tasted that full force.
Yeah.
It took a little bit of convincing from Mr. Garza to keep me from melting her blood where she sat. So
yeah, I've had that temptation. So I understand, but she's worth it in the end. I think she has a lot of potential.
Yeah, I'll leave that up to you.
So we keep hearing.
Yeah, so we keep hearing.
Garza says, just wanted to pass on the information so we can move forward. She did ask me to find Tulip for her. So if that's still a thing, just know that will require a small boon in exchange.
Understood. We will play it.
Exactly. Thank you. He hangs up.
Thank
And
you.
the moment that you hang up, the phone rings again.
Okay.
And it is Ivory.
You have excellent timing.
Excellent.
Yeah, I just heard from my provision.
Listen, you fucker! I am totally Nosferatu!
So we keep getting told. Yes. So it is confirmed. We can move past this concept.
I would like to move past this concept.
All right. Well, evidently we have some things to speak about
Okay.
together.
So let's meet up. Yeah.
We're at the club.
Okay, I'll be on my way then.
All right.
And unless you're going to take your time to make more acid bombs.
No. I got a couple stored in. I'm good.
Yep.
Let's say I'll have two, just because I don't want to be like walking around with acid all over me.
Things break.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you taking any of your acid bombs? Or are you just kind of like...
I'll take two. And
take two?
Same kind of in the
Take three so I can steal
pockets. I carry my tubes and stuff for samples and such.
Okay.
Same concept, just obviously.
Yeah. So instead of guns, you have just a vial of acid under each arm.
That's obviously I have a gun, so it's not worth much. I found out, so I wanted to try something else just in case.
John Wick some acid.
Isn't that right? We will call it the John Wick maneuver for now.
Yeah. But yeah, you get to the club uneventfully. Kathy and Ivory are there. Billy lets you up.
All right, excellent. Give my thanks to Billy. Don't want to ignore the ghouls.
Ghoul,
not that kind of
singular.
Ghoul. I meant ghouls like as in people.
Yeah. What do you mean, you people?
Good evening, Carl.
As he walks in, I'm just going to let you know, before you get mad at me, we might be enemies of the prince.
I had heard as much through the grapevine that you have inadvertently or advertently thrown in with Otis, and thus the Nosferatu, or the Nosferatu thus with Otis, since they've sided in our locality of it all. So
that's a huge boon for Otis, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And P.S. Since apparently you talked to my Primogen, he is looking for Tulip still. But
Coulson's not your Primogen.
I thought Coulson was the Primogen. No, okay. Thompson's the Primogen.
Yeah.
But Coulson was
Coulson's Otis. Otis is Tremere.
Otis is Tremere, right? Okay. Yeah. So anyway, the Coulson said that we owe him a boon first for continuing the hunt for Tulip. Just FYI.
Okay.
Yep. Hey man, look at her. Not me. I didn't do it.
That's fine. So what are we gonna?
It's a minor boon, so if that's any comfort.
Actually, yes. So what are we going to do about this?
Did you really sign in with Otis intentionally, or is it just a project? Oh, did she lose her?
We lost her.
Oh no!
Okay.
Right when it was getting good too. Oh, there she is.
Okay.
There you are.
Sorry, guys.
It's all right. I'll back up. What I was asking Kathy was just if did you intentionally side with Otis, or were you just like, I'm backing my clansmen, and by implication, of course, you're backing Otis. But are you truly throwing in with Otis? Because this stuff we need to know.
I have to back with my clan.
All right, but you're more about the clan than the Otis of it all.
It's the clan of the Otis than it all. And I am Tulips. And like she throws her hands up in the air. I'm like, so what am I supposed to do? Either go completely clanless with a guy that I don't trust, or side with my clan and die in the process, apparently, because
Well, we're not in open warfare. We're not in open warfare yet.
Yeah,
so.
Kathy, do you understand what this means?
well,
You painted a target on us all. Is what I'm getting.
Well, not only that, but just what the prince is and what by backing Otis, what that means.
she looks at Ivory straight in the eyes and she's like, and she like throws up her hands and she goes, I understand that it's, and like she does this and she's like, it's hard to explain. I understand what it means. I understand that, and she makes like a bigger circle. This is us. I will admit that 80% of my decisions last night were in anger.
Only 80?
Only 80. But I have to side with my clan. I have to. These are the people. I wouldn't be here without Tulip. And Tulip's never wronged me. And like she's like, this is the only family I've ever had. Short of. So what am I going to do?
I get that. You're in a bad position. I mean, that the Nas have totally switched is quite a big deal.
Mm-hmm. And no one wants to talk to me unless I side with Otis. So I'm either clanless, which great.
Well, that would only be the local clan. You're not technically clanless. You can never be.
Well,
I mean,
like she does the thing. You get my point, you fucker.
Sorry. Words have meaning. What do you want?
To tell you the truth, if I had to pick between Hyde and Otis, I would also pick Otis.
He's a nice guy. They didn't kill me yesterday. That's a plus.
I'm not saying you're all wrong. I'm just saying we have to be careful.
Oh, I know. I'm not saying that I'm going to, throw my hat in right now, but I can definitely see.
I like how the inner Tremere just has to start coming out of Chad. And just like, I know that I'm not a snitch, but I can snitch.
Like Kathy plays with the cat toy between her fingers and she looks up and she's like, I get it if you guys don't want to side with me. I'm beginning to understand. And like she holds it up. I'm beginning to understand just exactly what I was signed up for.
Yeah, it takes a bit to sink in, doesn't it?
It really fucking does.
It does.
And
to tell you the truth, this is the first time I've really dealt with the tower a lot, so I was just kind of on my own mostly. And
yeah, I was left alone a lot too, but I knew this day would come.
Yeah.
So, if you guys want to, I say...
I mean, it's not like I can move my club. And I was given the domain by Hyde, so there is that.
Technically Hyde won't be a problem if he's not a prince.
That is true.
Assuming we all survive that, yes.
And we know some things that...
I was busy talking about my night, but I haven't asked about yours. Go ahead, baby.
Well, no, I mean, some stuff we knew before, but last night we did get a little more information about some things, but there's a lot going on with Hyde, and now that he's losing Primogen, which that's never good, And we don't even know if he was actually affirmed as the prince. And we have that information.
Concept.
We have the information about the Archon being dead. So
Right.
That's the Geraldine concept, I'm assuming.
no, remember the Archon, the ashes we found in the hunters.
Oh, we found out who that is.
Yes.
We have a. There was what's her name? She was the one who's confirmed Hyde for Prince for the tower.
Yes.
No, I know that, but we never figured out why she was killed. Did we figure that out?
Well, we don't know why exactly, but
other than
I have an
hunters,
idea.
Well, what's
yeah.
your idea?
I mean, it's not a good look when an Archon is killed in your city.
Especially
Right after affirming that you are the prince.
Oh, I could have told you that.
Yeah, exactly. So we are the only ones other than the sheriff and the upper primogen who know that.
Yeah, Hannah Smiley.
Smiley.
Smalley.
Oh, I won't either. But we had, we didn't have much of a choice at the time, but we had to tell them.
I found out who killed the Bruja Primogen.
Did we know that? I think we knew that.
Did they know that, Will?
I don't think they know that.
Do they know that? I thought the Tremere Primogen told him.
Oh, yeah. So you know that Carl was the only one that knew that. You knew it because you overheard it. You overheard it.
Right.
But we didn't know that we each other knew.
Correct.
So me bringing it up, like talking about Primogens, Kathy's like, by the way, I figured out who killed out the Bruja Primogen.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And then she repeats what she heard from what's his face.
Yeah. Grant Reynolds.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, and Willow's dead.
Oh.
Oh. Okay.
That's interesting.
So I think you called it, Ivory, when you said that she was not who she said she was.
Well,
very possible.
Yeah, and that that's why the Nos disappeared, is because they went after her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I guess they all got together and decided Otis was the prince. Okay.
No.
Or at least a better version than Hind.
No. Otis had to have recruited them because he's putting them up in apartments down in West Salem.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it's half a dozen.
Yeah. I'm sure that
they sought him out, he sought them out, it went both ways kind of thing.
You scratch my back, I scratch yours kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I say we kill Hyde.
Just like that, huh? Might take a little bit more than that.
All right. So we need to figure out what our position is going to be here between us and out in the world. So
he gets really close to Carl. Did you test my blood?
Well, we already had the answer for you.
Because you
how would he have done that?
I have no idea.
You never gave me it.
Because Carson called you. So do you know about the tested blood, or did you test my blood?
No, Carson. Really Carson told me.
Coulson.
Coulson, sorry.
Coulson, sorry. Yes.
Okay. And she backs up.
Remember, he hasn't shared that Coulson called him.
No, that's.
Yeah, we talked about it at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
He repeated information that only Coulson would know, so that's how Kathy knew.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because I saw about Tulip and
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I got caught up in what happened afterwards. I'm just
So then we understand that I am who I say I am. So we'll never question that again. Right?
Correct. I never wanted to question it in the first place, but we had an emergency.
We are good.
Yes.
We are good. So what is it here? Are we going against Hyde or not? I did not see this going this way.
I would really like to know. So, to totally make my decision, I really want to talk to Melvin and find out what he knows about what happened to Geraldine. If Hyde was behind that, oh yeah, I'm with Otis. But
I still don't necessarily want to throw like Otis is not proclaiming anarchdom, right? He's not going barony.
No, he's going prince.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Just making sure.
Yeah.
So,
my guess is that with the Nos behind him, he has a lot more. When we talked to him before, he didn't feel like he had a lot behind him.
right.
But now,
No.
because the Nos can be quite a force.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Knowledge is power and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you what I think. I think this is a long time coming. There are other players, and she tries to keep Annabelle out of this. There are other players involved who are looking to see Hyde fall.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So
He doesn't get to be a dick for that long without pissing lots of people off.
He lost one of his big supporters with the Malkavian Prim. Come on.
Right. Exactly.
And good, by the way.
the other
Yeah, no one's mourning his loss.
No.
The other Malkavians are siding with Hyde. That much I know.
Are they?
They are.
Interesting.
Mm.
Do we know if they've declared a new Malkavian primogen yet?
Huh?
Did they tell you, obviously you've been talking with some Malkavians. Did they say anything about declaring a new primogen yet?
I like Kathy licks her lips.
A new leader. Did they say anything about declaring themselves a new leader?
No, I heard you, but in character,
Okay.
Kathy licks her lips and she goes, that. I didn't think to ask that.
Oh, it's okay. I was just curious if it had been said.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to make sure you knew what we were talking about. Sorry. It's,
No.
I just wanted to make sure.
I do know that they're siding with Hyde because I met a few last night.
I gathered. That's what I'm saying.
Just so that we're clear, they might think I'm one of them. Just go with it.
Honestly, what a Malkavian thinks as a group day to day might.
You
tracking it.
You do know that all Malkavians are crazy, right?
I played it very well.
Okay, I'm sure.
Not hard. Oh.
But that I do know is that they do see as Teddy, they sided with Willow, they're against Otis. So we know that Nosferatu is with Otis, and we know that Malkavian is with Hyde. We can bet that Bruja, because they died by Grant, is probably on the same side as Otis. That's my bet.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's a big take because Grant is he's Anarch, so
yeah.
But it just seems like Otis is gathering all the Anarch.
No.
Not necessarily. With the Nosferatu going wholesale over to them, that lends them a lot of legit authority in the tower. So, officially, if you want to get down to terminology, as I said, terms do matter. Yeah, they've kind of gone Anarch for the moment, but, much like every kingdom, he who wins writes the history book. And
then there's a whole...
We're living in a whole country full of rebels, if you really want to talk about it, going back far enough.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
it.
I don't know. But my clan is definitely going to be still here. So...
Do you think they're going to stick with Hyde?
My Primogen and Davies are very much into this area and with what Hyde has given to them. I can tell you that.
Well, I don't doubt that they're into the area. That's not really the issue. The issue is who's to lead it. They don't need to abandon it versus consolidate behind somebody else.
So I've been in this town for a few months now.
Right.
And I have yet to actually have a conversation with my Primogen.
Maybe that's something you should work on.
Well, I can't get a hold of him.
Oh, well, that is a problem.
Yes, it is.
Well, don't we have Davies is what, their second in command now?
Well, at least he's like their information gatherer now that the Nos are gone.
Okay.
Which he didn't seem to have a whole lot when we talked to him. I mean, he had a little, but
he definitely has interesting objects, though. And so I would suggest let's find we probably should meet. Obviously, Malkavians seem to be not a good call, but maybe what was his name? What's the sheriff's name again?
Green.
Harvey Green.
Harvey Green.
Yeah.
I'm not saying go to him and go, hey, you want to join up against Hyde? You know, Mr. Sheriff.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think we should be doing recruiting at the moment. I think we need to decide where we are.
Little like gift cards. Hey, congratulations! You've been selected for Otis Clean +1.
Yeah.
Here's a save the day. Here's a save the day for you.
Right? We're rebelling on this day.
Would you recommend to friends?
The point that I guess I'm trying to make is that me and Carl are kind of in a hard position here. So
really? You're talking to the person who's in the hard position. Cool. Okay.
I mean,
you made your choice. You, for good or bad, you've made your choice. And I respect that. I do. But now we are starting to have to make a choice one way or another. And
so I don't think we need to openly declare Betham yet. I think we still need more info, to be quite honest. But you're part of our coterie, Kathy. That means something, regardless of internal arguments. And yes, I know we've only been together for a bit, but I feel kinship to this coterie. So
I had to think about it.
Well, I was looking for the right word.
Had to think about it.
Would you like me to use the right word or the wrong word? So my point is, though I'm certain to regret this point, is that I don't want us to see fall apart, and I got your back. I believe Ivory has your back. So, you know, we stand as one, is basically my point. Yeah, we can internally squabble later.
At the end of the day, she looks up and she puts her hands up. I'm not giving up my new place.
That's what it is.
I point to Ivory. That's what you think.
Yeah. So Carl, I think I'm with you on not declaring yet. I think we do need more information, and I think we do need to decide what information we're going to give to people. I think it's become very important about not blabbing everything to everybody.
Correct.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I don't do that.
He's pointing more to me.
No, it's Carl. He does that also.
Okay. Yes, Carl.
Anyway,
to everybody. I just don't see the need for true secrecy on most things.
But
now we're moving into dangerous territory. We weren't in dangerous territory before.
Yes, it seems like our initial, what we were sent to do has kind of died.
It's totally been put on pause, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, well, the Kwaijiang have kind of moved out, and they're not focused here anymore. So that has gone. So our mission from Hyde is kind of over at the moment.
But he doesn't have to.
And we never really found out much, to tell you the truth, about that. We found out everything about everybody else.
Yeah, everybody else kind of overwhelmed that concept.
So I think we need to correlate what we know, figure out what we need to find out, and just figure out, what we know about the Archon could be the trump card. It really could. Right. So we need you to find out everything you can about the samples that you got. That you got to keep. I know,
like a trip.
Something happened.
Yeah, I don't think I have much left, right? Well, the guy took it.
He had a little, I think.
There's very,
and
there was also very trippy shit left.
Yeah. You maybe have enough for an experiment, but that's it. That's like a single experiment.
Okay.
Nonetheless, we shouldn't use it yet.
No, not use it, but we need to get it together so that we know what we've got and then figure out what we want to do with it.
Fluffy, thanks you. I think if we're gonna do that, that should be the last resort because that's. And she looks across. I'm assuming there's not much left for us to go down the magical yellow brick road.
You have no idea. My brain still hurts from what was revealed.
Actually, what we may want to do is save that for the Tremere we go with, so that they can test it.
Right, they might have more insight.
Well, not only that, but it proves to them what we know.
Yeah, that's true.
Going out though, I think I understand you guys. If you don't want to side, and that's fine. I'm siding with my clan. But this is going to put us in a hard place because we had a knock on our door the other day, and they wanted to know what I knew. And I'm pretty sure they're going to come and pay a visit again, eventually.
A knock on her. What?
So, don't you remember? And then she twirls her finger when we had the guest that came in that let us know that Nosferatu was missing. And they're considered enemies of the prince, and he said he was going to come back. And also Hyde is set to pay a visit. In case we forgot.
Oh, we're having Elysium here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For New Year's.
So I just, if we wanted to plan something, guys, that would probably be the time to do it, because that would be when he's least suspecting.
No, you can't break Elysium.
Yeah, if they try to do a usurpation on the Elysium, it would go poorly across all of the Camarilla. They would not. It would not stop here. They would come for us, or they come for them rather.
So,
and when Justicar starts showing up, your day's going to get real messed up.
But Otis is trying to become king, right?
Right, but that's my point. Is you don't do it on Elysium.
I understand that, but it's going to happen before.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
Things don't move fast in Vampire World all the time.
Yeah, we've had the most hectic. Has it been like 3 months?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
It's been the most hectic.
It's been definitely the most hectic in a long time for me. Normally, my decades go by in a laboratory.
So, hey, listen, I'm just making a point. If it's New Year's that Elysium is, and it's hosted here, I have a feeling that it's either going to be before or right after, because this would be the perfect time to strike. That's my thought.
Well, we don't know.
Possible. We have no idea what his plans are yet, so that's part of the information we need to know.
We could ask.
We can, and I intend to.
You can ask.
Yeah, get at least some thoughts.
We are not technically part of his domain, so.
I mean, Carl could ask. Carl, they're not mad at Carl. They didn't, tell him to go suck a bag of dicks and flip them off in the same breath.
Not yet. We'll see how they feel.
So something we could do. When we first met Otis in the tower condos, I invited him here for some jazz.
Right, I remember that. Yeah.
Why don't we invite him? Oh no, that's bad news. I wouldn't do that. Because if Hyde finds out, he's going to come after this and burn it down. And
evidently, he can come in the town. He has been here before. He was talking to the Ventru Primogen.
Yeah, remember, we're not an open warfare yet. They don't. No one's declared really nothing except for the Nos just wholesale abandoning Hyde. That still doesn't mean. It implicates Otis as a usurper yet.
Yeah, invite him. We'll have some jazz.
As long as he's allowed in the city, and I have heard no decrees against such.
I mean, if Carl's cool with it, he can send the invite. Add your name, sound some squirrelies.
Well, I will send the invite. It's from the club.
Yeah, exactly. We're just
letterhead.
It's just a bunch of vampires getting together for a blood drink. It's fine. We'll break up, split up in a couple cold ones or warm ones, as it were.
Yeah, send that out. At least if we bring Otis here, we could meet, find his plans out, and why and how much power he truly does have, and whether or not he can convince maybe the other primogens to join, such as if he points to Ivory's yours.
I doubt that.
Yeah, and I don't. Oh, I have to go back. I don't even know if Carl would know this, but like with Primogen, isn't there like a vote of no confidence kind of thing, depending on the city structure? How they
if there is a vote of no confidence, it has not gotten out that it took place.
Right.
But given that 3 of the seats are empty, it would be 3 main Primogen, the Gangrel, who could be or not be there, and then the miscellaneous clan Primogen,
Right.
the Lasombra. So Wesley Ian Garter, the Toreador Primogen, would vote for Hyde. Hyde, as his own vote, would vote for himself to stay in power. Thompson would probably abstain. Anastasia Richards would have to vote for Thompson for Hyde, just because she's Ventru.
Right.
She knows what side her bread is buttered on. So the only ones that would vote against Hyde would be the Gangrel, because the Lasombra knows that he was given that position for a reason, and the number of favors that he must owe for that
Right.
means he can't vote against Hyde.
Yeah. So a vote of no confidence seems unlikely.
The politics don't look good.
No,
In
he's
that,
stacked the deck.
It's going to have to be an actual takeover. It's not going to be.
Yeah, the two that would have made the best case to vote against Hyde would have been the Bruja and the Nosferatu.
Right. And
They're
they're
gone.
well,
the Bruja-
one's
yeah, the
gone
Bruja
and
was-
one's dead.
Yeah, the
And that
Bruja was
makes you
taken
wonder.
off the board. The Nosferatu left.
Yeah.
Which makes you wonder, like you said, Ivory.
Yeah, because, I mean, if Grant took out the Bruja Primogen, Grant Reynolds, and he's Anarch, I wonder why.
Assuming he's actually still Anarch. I have my
And not
suspicions about
Sabat?
that. And not Sabat. Because yeah, man, that's a whole nother ball of wax.
Yeah, that's another thing we know about. And
So you
were
have the whole
they
area to be weakened. And
were the
then-
Anarchs working with the Kuaizhong? That was another
Right.
thing that we found out.
Right.
So
you could set up a whole area to be weakened and then sweep in when everybody's infighting.
yeah.
Mhm.
So
So invite Otis. We have a saxophone tournament to get into.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, I say definitely invite us so we can at least feel them out.
all right.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Which one
felt-
I
feel
will
about?
I will get that set up.
Okay. If there are no pressing matters, then moving forward, we can easily jump to Monday the 26th. So we'll hop over the Thanksgiving holiday. I don't assume any of you have any pressing matters to deal with.
We'll just have to drink deeply and give thanks.
Give
When
thanks.
Kathy can, in between that time, she tries to meet up with Annabelle.
Okay. I mean, she took you to where she lives with Leslie, so it's not too difficult. It will be 500 days of summer, or no, 51st dates. Sorry, it'll be more of a 51st dates kind of thing. She does not remember you every time that you go to meet her. And even as she starts adding things to her notebook about you, it's very, very slow. Like, it takes you the entirety of the week for her to even remember that your name is Kathy.
I'm okay with that. I like them
But-
slow and steady.
But yeah, you can definitely be spending some time with Annabelle, and that'll put you in Leslie's radar, so you'll be able to hear some things as they come in. But with this, I think this is a good point to call it for tonight. So thank you guys as always, and thank you to those that joined us in the audience. I hope you guys are having a good time. There's a lot unfolding, and I'm excited to see what happens with this meeting that's going to take place. I think, as always, thank you guys. Remember that Mondays are for Vampire the Masquerade. It's a dual storyline. One Monday is a Camarilla chapter. The next Monday is an Anarch chapter. Tuesdays are for L5R or for Werewolf the Wild West. And every other Thursday we do 7th C. That means that this Thursday we will be having a 7th C game. So I'm excited for that. But as always, we take mental health on the channel very seriously. So just from one person to another, please know that it is okay to not be okay. But if you need help, just know that there are resources out there for you. So if you're watching live on Twitch right now, there's phone numbers going up in the Twitch chat. If you're watching later on YouTube, they'll be in the description box. Just know that there are people out there. There are resources for you to kind of call in and get help if you need it. People are wanting to help you. If you're not in the United States, there's a link going up as well, which will also be in the description box, so you can find the resources you need in the area that you're living in, or at least as close to you as possible. As always, you know, we've been through some darkness and we've come out of it. Some of us have come out of it, some of us have not. And it is imperative that you understand that there are resources out there to help you if you need it. So please take care of yourselves, take care of each other. We will see you when we see you, and please have yourselves a good night. Bye.